Jackery released their all-new FridgeGuard power station, and at first glance, it's slim, looks premium, and is designed specifically to keep your food cold when the power goes out. Now, this isn't the first dedicated fridge backup we've tested here at the lab, but it might be the cheapest. So the real question is Jackery making a move, or did they cut too many corners to get here? Welcome back to the lab, where our opinions cannot be bought. This is a new trend here in the industry, and we at the lab think that this is going to be a very important market in the future. So it's cool to see Jackery putting their hat in the ring this early on. As always, we will leave a link to our power station quiz, which gives you a tailored recommendation based on your needs, along with any discount codes we got from Jackery to try and save you guys some money. Now, before we jump into everything we like and anything we didn't, we're gonna hit you with a super quick spec teardown in case you're not familiar with the Jackery FridgeGuard. Starting with the weight, this passes the tiny baby lift test, coming in at around 23.2 pounds. It is a 1024 watt-hour battery, which is a decent capacity considering the size. It's expandable up to 2 kilowatt hours, and it has an 800 watt continuous output. You can charge it with a regular house plug at 800 watts, and you can also charge it with solar up to 500 watts. Taking a look at the plugs and ports, we have a 120 volt AC charging port and a regular household plug. This is the only place you can pull your 800 watts from, whereas other power stations tend to have multiple. Flipping over to the other side, we have a screen, a power button, and at the top, we have the DC input. This port is for 3 things: your solar input, your expansion port, and your car charger. We'll talk about this a little bit later on in the video. The screen has a cool function where, depending on how this unit is mounted, it'll change orientation. Looking at the overall design, it's only 2.5 inches wide, and in our opinion, it just looks really good. It has Bluetooth, connects to Wi-Fi, and works seamlessly with Jackery's app, which allows you to change settings which you can't do directly on the unit. Right now, at the time of filming this video, it's going to be released at Costco for $5.59. Here at the lab, we think it's a little strange that it's not on their website, whereas the Bluetti Fridge Power was only available on Kickstarter, so pick your poison. The first thing that we like is the price. Earlier this year, Bluetti released their fridge power for $721 with our discount code. So it's nice that Jackery allows you to get in a little bit cheaper. We also like that it has multiple mounting options. You can stand it vertically like this with the feet, or you could buy the bracket that attaches to the back, and then you can mount it, say, behind your fridge or on a wall somewhere else. But the mounting bracket is an additional expense, but it might be best for you depending on how you want to mount this unit. We also like that it discharges and charges at -20 degrees Celsius. This is useful, for example, in your cabin, or you leave it in your car during the winter. You can use it without having to wait for the power station to warm up. And finally, we like some of our testing results. Starting with efficiency, it is 83% efficient, which is pretty good. It also charged in around 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is fine. But those are the only parts of the testing that we liked. Some of the test results we didn't like was the surge test. It did not surge well at all and didn't hit that 1600 watt as advertised. But more importantly, the idle test was not good. During our testing, we found out that it won't idle if there's no load present after a couple hours. This is important, for example, in your cabin. If it's cold, your fridge doesn't have to cycle as frequently. So if your fridge is off for a while, the unit will power down. Then when it comes for your fridge to cycle on, the unit won't be able to deliver the power because it will be off. If you were going to use this for another application, say a sump pump, where there will be long periods of time with no load present, it's kind of a buzzkill that you just can't rely on it. This is something that Jackery can fix with the software update, so hopefully they do that. It shouldn't be too hard for them. Another thing we don't like is the DC port at the top. It's responsible for 3 different things like we talked about before, but you can only use one at a time. Basically, Jackery is expecting you to choose either solar or an expansion. Most other power stations, you can add an expansion and still charge it with solar. So it's just a bit of a weird thing. We also just think the battery is a little small. For example, something like the Bluetti Fridge Power, this has 2000 watt hours and it's basically the same size. More importantly, an average fridge won't last 1 day with 1000 watt hours. For example, we plugged this into our fridge at 5 p.m., left the lab, and then we got back at 8:30 a.m. and it was off. We don't exactly know how long it was off for, but it's not even close to a 24-hour time period. There is some extra advantages this Bluetti fridge power has, but we will leave a link in the description to a full video on it if you want to check it out. With all that being said, who is this power station for? In our opinion, if you just need or want a fridge backup like this with a smaller battery capacity, and you don't need a huge inverter, this is a great product. The idling issue shouldn't affect you if you're not using this in a cold climate or for something that's not a fridge. We do like that it is a cheaper entry point. Hopefully Jackery can fix that idle issue. Overall, this is a good unit, it looks pretty good, and just because Bluetti released their fridge power with some advantages doesn't make this a bad unit. But let us know what you guys think. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, peace out, and stay charged.